Okay, here's the first motor out on my Paramotor. A little bit of backstory. The plan for today was to fly out of my house to the Carroll County Airport and back to test my fuel range with the auxiliary fuel tank I've been working on. The auxiliary fuel tank ended up being the cause of the problem. It had some gunk in it that I thought I had cleaned out that had blocked up the inlet screen in the carburetor. But there's a little play-by-play of what we're seeing now. Now, I'm trying to stay low, about 300 feet above ground level, between 200 and 300 feet. And the local airport is about 3 miles off to my left. I try to stay low when I'm going past it. I'm going under the ILS corridor right now, and I planned on passing it and then starting a little gentle climb up to about 1,500 feet for the trip to Carroll County. And you see me squeezing the throttle right there. I planned on going up for the climb, but when I did, I didn't get any throttle response. I was cruising about 5,500 RPM, and I was going to bring it up to about 6 grand, 6,500, just a nice gentle climb. But I got nothing out of the throttle. It stayed at 5,500 when I squeezed it. Didn't know what the problem was, so while I was kind of tinkering with the throttle, I turned back toward my best out, which right there in front of me is now it's in front of me is a cut cornfield, freshly cut. I'm sitting over a bean field right now, which if you look around, I've got safe outs pretty much everywhere, but the cornfield's a lot more convenient just being able to walk out of it. Right now I'm going downwind, moving about, I don't know, probably 30 knots. I plan on using that to get to a good place to turn around and land while I was playing with the throttle. And then we're done. Motor's out. Okay, so now I've got a few options. I'm trims neutral right now. Probably should have gone ahead and trimmed in at the moment, but I decided to go for a restart. So there we go, pull, pull, pull. I'm getting no love there at all, so okay, I'm definitely going to be landing out in this field now. Trims in, and I start to turn back downwind to the landing point I kind of picked out earlier. Now that road has power lines down it, which you can't really see too well, but I wanted to stay away from that. I kind of wanted to land close to the road so I didn't have far to walk, but I was going for the safer option rather than the more convenient option. So coming in against the wind, I was moving pretty slow. Had about 100 pounds total, counting motor and all my other extra gear for this long flight, but it was a pretty good landing. I tried to run it out so I could kite the wing down behind me, but between the extra weight and the corn stalks, it just wasn't happening. So wing goes down on its nose. And if you look here in just a minute, you can see the auxiliary fuel tank that caused all the problem. It's a repurposed Camelback. Since this, I've added filters in line there and replaced the filter in the main tank to the carburetor. I ended up actually tearing the carburetor apart, getting everything cleaned out, getting the fuel system cleaned out, and going up for a midday flight, which I caught some really cool thermals. That's a whole nother story though. But yeah, so luckily my wife was only a few miles away, and she came like a superhero to save the day. And that was my first ever motor out on a Paramotor. I learned a lot. Let me know if you see any mistakes I made or things I could have done better with this. I'm sure there's some somewhere.